It's been 8 months with the S3, and today I'm going to give you a full breakdown of what it's like to own this car. The good, the great, the certainly not so good, which were a few things, and everything in between. The whole experience summed up in just a few minutes. Now let's give you a quick tour around the car. I have only done a resonator delete on this car. I've tinted all the windows, fully blacked out, side and back, but the front is not tinted. Okay, so visually it's a beautiful looking car. I blacked out the grille. It's not the honeycomb, but it is painted and blacked out. Looks pretty good, but I think the honeycomb is required at some point. Now, in regard to the kit on this was on it when I got it from the dealer. This was imported from Japan. This is a Japanese car. It's in Ireland with 8 months when I bought it. So this car had about 50,000 kilometers on the clock when I got it, 49,000 even, which is what, 30,000 miles, give or take, a bit more maybe. So this car was essentially brand new, even though it's 11 years old. There was not a scratch on it, not a ding, not a dent, nothing. It was in showroom condition. So let's get into it and talk about the cost of actually running this car in the first place. So we got to deal with fuel, right? It's definitely something a lot of people will think about and question when they're buying a car like this. Is it good? No. Is it bad? No. It's really in between. I get about 32 miles per gallon on a long trip with this car, which is okay, but that's driving it sensibly. However, the real bad side is, and this is where it balances out. Personally, I drive mainly around the city, and I sometimes get 16 miles per gallon in the city. That to me is quite tragic. 32 is great in my eyes, but 16, it doesn't cut it. That is horrific. However, when you balance it out, you are in your mid-20s, and that's not too bad. That's something I can live with. It's definitely not as good as a diesel. It's never going to be. This car is stock. It has been tuned, and I'll tell you some horror stories about that, but in another video. But I brought it back to stock. There was a surprise. I did a trip to England recently. I did about 1,500 kilometers, and little did I know the water pump was on its way out. And I realized that when the car started getting a little bit toasty, but it wasn't too bad. However, I could see it when I left the car, got out of the car, that it was leaking from underneath and the coolant was almost gone. It was down to the minimum, and that wasn't normal, and it really picked up very quickly. And it soon became to a point where I couldn't drive it for a week, which was not ideal. Now that was just to be safe. Maybe that was my own paranoia, but it's not worth it. This is a common issue with these cars, these water pumps going. So I actually would recommend, the water pump on this car went at 59,000 kilometers. 59,000 kilometers. So I would actually recommend, if you buy this car at any point, if the water pump has not been done, I would definitely do it when you get it, when you have a bit of free time. You don't have to worry about it, because it's going to go. It goes on all of them at some point. Some last 100,000 miles, some last 30 or 40, like this car. Now, I promise you it's not all bad, but I'm going to give you one more bad thing about this car. Actually, I'm going to give you two. One is to do with the driving experience, and one is to do with just being in the car, sitting in the car. The technology, however, it's very basic, it's clean, it looks okay. This is the pre-facelift, so it doesn't have the digital dash. This is an 11-year-old car, which is fair enough, but it has absolutely nothing. It has Bluetooth, that's it. So I'm going to get Apple CarPlay installed at some point, and I might do the digital dash. However, I'm not too picky about that stuff. My girlfriend has a new 3 Series, and it's it's 2019, so it's 6 years old now, but it's incredibly more advanced compared to this car, and they're relatively similar competitors in the car world. Now, The bad thing with the driving experience, it loves to understeer. It absolutely loves to understeer. Now, I don't experience it too often because in reality I don't drive the car very hard. However, if it's wet and you are having a little bit of fun, you just understeer everywhere. So I've actually been told to put extremely good tires on the front and pretty crappy ones on the back, and that will make it a little bit more tail happy and actually turn into corners better. So you have the grip on the front and then you have a little bit less on the back, so it should rotate the car much better going into sharp corners at speed. That's something I'll be doing very soon because I have the car, I have the car 12,000 kilometers now, and it's almost through the front set of tires. It's not quite, it would last honestly 20 if you wanted it, but I like changing them early. I don't like taking the chance with anything like that. But that's the negatives with this Audi S3. So I got this car in from Japan. It came to a dealer in Ireland. They VRT'd it. They did everything for me. All I did, pay the money, collect it, take it away. It was serviced, it was validated. The process was really smooth, really easy, and I was just able to choose from their catalogue essentially. Now, let's dive into the good things about this car, because there's a lot. I'm someone that's coming from a BMW i8, so practicality was not ideal. It was terrible, to be honest. And this ticked that box. I can fit whatever in the boot. I can do whatever jobs I want with it, go wherever with it. It doesn't scrape everywhere. Even though the splitter is on this, it is not that low. So there's no side skirts. There is a rear diffuser. Let me show you that real quick. But again, it's not low by any means, and the car is actually sitting at its standard height. So to me, it's perfect. Maybe I'll lower it a little bit in time, and we'll see, but right now it's perfect the way it is. So what's it like comfort wise? Comfort is not bad. It's not bad at all for a sports car. In comparison to the i8, it's like a luxury car. Now if you're comparing it to say my girlfriend's 3 Series, it's quite rough. You feel pretty much every bump in the road. It drops you here and there when you go into a dip, and you notice the imperfections on essentially every road. It's great on the motorway. You will not have any issues on a long trip. As I mentioned, recently I did a 1,500 kilometer trip to England and back to Ireland, and the comfort was absolutely fine. The seats, they tuck you in nicely. There's a bit of body roll, there is, but it's nothing to worry about or to be complaining too much about. It's a practical daily car at the end of the day. One thing I do have done to this is actually a resonator delete, and to me that was the best modification I could have done, and I did it within a month of owning the car, I would say. It increased the sound probably by 20-30%, but this car from factory, it sounds crap. That's the truth. Launch control sounds okay, but it's by no means loud. You can't hear it at all. But the resonator delete for it was like a €70 mod. It was well worth it. Absolutely would recommend. I wouldn't even question it. If I got another one, that's the first thing I would absolutely do, and I'd recommend it to anyone that's interested in these cars or has one. Get the resonator delete, you won't regret it. I didn't get anything crazy. I just got a straight pipe welded in. I didn't buy any delete kit, anything like that. The drone is over 3,000 revs. This is a 6-speed, by the way, a 6-speed DSG automatic. Over 3,000 revs, so at about 130 kilometers an hour, that's when you notice the drone. However, we're never doing that, right? It doesn't affect you day to day. It really doesn't. As an enthusiast, it's actually a great car to own because there's plenty of modifications you can do to it, and people will admire it. People do comment on this actually quite a lot. I do think the red helps that, because people seem to like the red, but it can spark up conversations. Someone with an Evo actually spoke to me earlier and they were admiring the car. So everybody respects it, everybody seems to like it, and especially with that sun gleaming on it, I have to say I absolutely love the red. However, I wanted a blue one. I actually initially wanted a black one, went to see the black one, it didn't really do it for me. I saw a blue one and that was gone, so red was my choice from there, so that's why I took the red one. Fantastic car. Overall, I'm absolutely loving this car. I would recommend it to anybody that wants practicality, they want a bit of comfort, and they want that sports car feel and the sound once you have that resonator delete. done. It's beautiful, it looks good, there's a lot that you can do to it. It is essentially a Golf R, right? Supposedly it doesn't handle as well as the Golf R, but it's minimal in my opinion from what I've heard. I've never actually experienced the Golf R, but again, from what I've heard, it's a minimal difference that won't really matter to you unless you're tracking it, maybe. Even at that, this car will absolutely hold up with the R in every aspect. If you want to hear my bad remapping story, let me know. The car, it had a little bit of trouble at that point. But subscribe, like the video if you have any questions about this car. Comment them below. I'm happy to help out. Take care.